It is January 28th, the post-Royal Rumble 2023 show, and yeah, it's me, it's Vinny, and on the couch together we have got Mark and Sean.
Hey!
Here today. How are you both doing?
Tired.
Well, what about you, Mark?
I didn't know you got Hardy to write your new theme
Oh,
song.
get out of here. God,
How old is that song?
The one we just played? It's brand new, dude.
Brand new, huh?
Yeah.
Hardy.
Yeah, everything's a little different today, everybody.
Excellent.
You know, we got the upper lights are on, so it's super bright on me and Sean and Mark. We had to get them enough light. And hey, you know what? I promised that today on this show we were going to open presents. And I know it seems like a gimmick at this point, but I swear to God it's not. That fucking Royal Rumble went so long, I'm not doing it tonight. Let's just get this show going. Let's review the show, and we'll do presents on Tuesdays. That sound like a plan?
I legit thought I might be home by now.
Listen.
I have to do a show now and then drive home.
Hey, I got to do a show now and do another one with Dave after I watch Rampage. Yeah. So listen, everybody. Just if you want the quick and dirty, if it's one whatever right now and you're tired and want to go to bed, you want to know what to watch or not watch. The men's Royal Rumble, I thought was very good.
Outstanding.
I thought the last about 3 minutes of the women's Royal Rumble was good. And the main event I thought was a solid match, and I thought the post-match angle was excellent. So you can watch this whole show in about maybe an hour and a half. The actual show itself went 4 hours and 15 minutes, which was way, way too long. And it reiterated my belief that we absolutely, positively do not need a men's Royal Rumble and a women's Royal Rumble on the same show. I'm not saying you don't need to do the women's Royal Rumble or the men's. What I'm saying is in January, you should be doing the men's Royal Rumble. And in July, to set up the other big show of the year, SummerSlam, that's when you should do the women's Royal Rumble. 2 is just too much. It's too much to watch 2 Royal Rumbles in one night. The show's too long. You know, by the time the Women's Royal Rumble is halfway through, the announcers are talking about, it's a lull in the match right now. I don't think they should ever be telling me there's a lull in a Royal Rumble match. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we?
We watched WWE Royal Rumble 2023, January 28th, 2023. Pat McAfee makes his return to do commentary in what appeared to be a legit surprise for both Michael Cole and Corey Graves. I've never seen Michael Cole so happy. As McAfee came out, his buddy came out.
Hey, can I rant about one thing real fast?
That's what we're here for.
Okay. I don't know if Shane's serious or not, but he does pay, so he's not like one of your usual freeloaders that just talks a bunch of shit on the internet. He goes, it's amazing you guys complain about 4-hour WWE shows, yet not a peep about AEW pay-per-views that go 5. Shane, do you watch AEW pay-per-views? Okay? Yeah, AEW pay-per-views go 4.5 hours long. Not 5, about 4.5, okay? And if you watch an AEW pay-per-view, what happens is they play music, they do a match, 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 they end the show. There is no downtime. There is no Howdy or whoever the fuck played some fucking song in the middle of this show.
Hardy.
The Women's Royal Rumble ended, and it was 20 minutes before Roman Reigns began his entrance. So by the time he actually got to the ring and they rang the bell, it was 25 fucking minutes of nothing happening, okay? A 4-hour show, 4.5-hour show, with all that downtime feels excruciatingly long. When you go match, 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 main event, it goes by so much faster. It's AEW, it's New Japan, it's UFC, it's every other fucking promotion in the world except WWE, which wastes our fucking time, and you're tired. You're tired at the end of 4.5 hours because of so much nothing happening downtime, which is what happened on this show. Now go ahead, Vinny.
All right, Men's Royal Rumble. I thought this match ruled. I will cut to the chase because I don't feel like going through all 30 entrances and eliminations. But Cody
should.
I'll try.
Let's go.
Gunther is 1. Sheamus is 2.
This Gunther's awesome.
Gunther rules. Sheamus rules. There were 2 big subplots to this one besides just the guy who eventually won. One is that Sheamus and Drew work together constantly. Well, Drew McIntyre comes in about 10 guys later, whatever it is. But Sheamus and Drew work together constantly. They were great friends and a great effective team. And they often were fighting against Gunther, who was a one-man warrior, even though his 2 friends were not in the match. And there was lots of Gunther versus Drew and lots of Gunther versus Sheamus. And lots of Drew and Sheamus versus the sort of people. And in the end, Drew and Sheamus were working together when Gunther threw them out like 45 minutes later.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that, Vinny, because a couple people here tuned in late. They want to know where Mark's at. He's right here.
I'm right here.
Yeah. You're not your usual bombastic, nutty, crazy self this year.
You're fucking over here just screaming.
Yeah. What, you never heard this show before?
Yes, Brian.
All
I've
right.
been on this show for the last, I don't know, fucking
But
10
here's a
years.
question for you, Mark.
Oh, my God.
You missed the numbers video.
You told me that the numbers video was on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which I don't watch SmackDown.
You missed the video, dude.
And, you know, like, I'm sure I didn't miss it because I'm sure they just added a lot of ones and a lot of times. And
I saw it. It was great to fast forward through.
Wow. I enjoyed that numbers video. But you know I bring it up because you know what's going to be in the numbers video next year? How many times they made a Bang Bros joke when Drew McIntyre and Sheamus were in the ring together. Anybody count?
I just remember the time McAfee referred to them as the Brothers of Bang.
The Brothers of Bang. I love Pat McAfee. They called him the Banger Bros for one show. And then in the Daily Update, Dave goes, evidently there's a porn company called Bang Bros.
Oh, they wouldn't know.
And I'm like, you're telling me none of these fuckers that work for WWE are aware of Bang Bros? Get the fuck out of here. So anyway, they don't call them the Bang Bros anymore. But McAfee wanted to make sure he got every fucking Bang Bro reference he could get in regarding these 2 guys. And Sean, what did they say afterwards?
Something about, oh yeah, they were double teaming some guy. They were gang banging him. I remember that part too. Is that the part you're referring to? Oh no. Sheamus said he wasn't going to be
afterwards.
Sheamus tweeted out he was not going to be the Bang Bros anymore. That was the last appearance of the Bang Bros.
That's the last appearance of the Bang Bros. Wow. After all that, that's sad. Well, they went out with a bang, didn't they?
Shut up, Brian.
They sure did.
Shut the fuck up.
But I mean, they did.
God damn it.
So Gunther and Sheamus are in there just beating the hell out of each other as they are wont to do. Miz is number 3, and I am giddy.
Yeah, what a geek.
And then they stalled. They stalled, but then he got in there, and what I wanted to happen really, really did happen. It was awesome. They beat the hell out of him. Kofi's in there. Gargano is in there. Let's see. Xavier Woods gets in there. He doesn't last long, but he's in there long enough to do the New Day versus New Day spot, which ends in, as Michael Cole called it, quote, a wheelbarrow butt slap.
Yeah. The first time he ever called a move right.
That's exactly what it was.
The wheelbarrow butt slap.
So Karrion Kross gets in there. McIntyre is not in yet. And for a while, Karrion Kross versus Sheamus versus Gunther is just its own little 3-way hoss fight division. That's a lot of fun. And then essentially McIntyre came in and tossed out Kross and just took his place. It was still the same 3 guys, but 2 of them were working together. And for the next 40 minutes, they just beat the tar out of each other repeatedly. It was great. We have Santos Escobar in there, Angelo Dawkins. Let's see. Brock Lesnar is 12, which of course is big news.
Finally. You know what's awesome about this Brock Lesnar?
Everything.
Absolutely everything. Man, that guy's got the best music. And every time it hits, what was it? Here Comes the Pain?
That's the name of the song, yeah.
Every time that music hits, you know, here comes the pain. Because this fucker comes out and you just know carnage is about to occur. And everybody goes crazy because it's Pavlovian, that music. They hear that music and they know they're about to see some dudes get killed. And Brock delivered. He killed some dudes.
Oh, he sure did. Drew and Sheamus were waiting for him together. He killed them both. And killed everyone else. We got the, the Gunther Lesnar stare down, which was awesome, but they didn't do a ton. Until Lashley hit the ring and immediately threw out Brock Lesnar. A huge upset. Okay, Baron Corbin is number 14. Before he can even hit the ring, a very angry Brock Lesnar destroys him.
We should mention, by the way, that Lesnar and Lashley are obviously doing something, but also Lesnar and Gunther. And I am hoping that we see that Lashley-Lesnar match, maybe at Elimination Chamber or something like that, because I want the WrestleMania match to be Brock Lesnar and Gunther.
That sounds awesome, too. But
that is the match I want to see.
I got a very different impression with what they're going to do with Gunther here.
What?
I by the end, because Gunther threw out Drew and Sheamus together, and now Drew and Sheamus are turning each other, I am assuming they're going to do Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus for the IC title.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
That was the impression I had.
Well, you don't watch SmackDown where they're obviously feuding with the Viking Raiders.
I see.
Who attacked them, and they voluntarily stepped out of a tournament for the tag titles.
Wasn't voluntarily.
Well, they kind of did. They walked away from the match. Right?
They just walked to the back. And
and then Adam Pearce goes,
Adam
they
Pearce
vacated their spot. That's what he said. He said they vacated it.
All right.
I don't know.
So Brock is throwing a tantrum, spiking the stairs into the announce desk, and there's an elimination or two here, and you just hear from Michael Cole, I ran away, I have no idea what just happened. Which is fair. Seth Rollins is 15. Otis is 16. Otis walking down the side. We didn't mention this. They're in the Alamodome in San Antonio. It's a football field. There's a long-ass entrance ramp. And Otis walking down that aisle looked exactly like an actual literal bulldog. Like
I can't believe he made it all the way to the ring. I thought he'd give up about halfway.
He's an athlete.
To be done.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete with a hefty diet. Hefty diet. So I don't know what happened with Otis, but he gets in the ring, and they set everything up for him to do the worm. And it's like he got stage fright and couldn't pull it off. And so he did something else for a while, and then somebody else came in, and Otis finally hit the worm, and then was immediately thrown out. And we missed it.
It was very weird because I think they plan out a lot of stuff. And it was almost like he was supposed to do the worm later, but he got confused. And so he got set up to do it on somebody, and then he realized, wait, I'm not supposed to do it yet. And so he just didn't do it. When in reality, he should have just done it. You can do the worm twice. I don't think there's a rule against it. That's something for the numbers video next year.
How many worms Otis did?
Who did the most worms in a Royal Rumble?
Otis
or Scotty?
It was Scotty too, Hottie.
It is.
I bet there was one Scotty did at least two, actually. Right?
Yeah. He's got the record now, but that record won't stand forever.
No. Rey Mysterio is announced at number 17, but he never comes out. We never see him. And then Dominic Mysterio is number 18 and comes out wearing his dad's mask.
You know what's funny is I don't want to take credit for this, okay?
All right.
But I had a prediction for the Royal Rumble. Because 3 weeks ago on SmackDown, they randomly announced that Karrion Kross was going to face Rey Mysterio the night before the Royal Rumble. And Rey had done this promo about how I am going to win the Rumble and I'm going to go on to WrestleMania. That's my goal. I'm going to win that Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and win the title. And I thought, okay, so they didn't say that Rey is facing Karrion next week. They specifically said in 2 weeks, which was the night before the Rumble. I thought, well, why'd they do that? So I thought, well, I'll bet what happens is Rey is wrestling Karrion. Dominic screws his father, and then they destroy Rey, and Rey is unable to enter the Rumble as a result, which is what will finally set off Rey to want a match with his son. So Rey comes out for the match with Karrion Kross on SmackDown, and I'm all waiting for them to do my idea. And they do a 3-minute match, and Rey just pins him. And then they just went on to the next thing. And I was like, what? Like, you spent 2 weeks promoting that to do a nothing match with a clean finish, and you just moved on like it was nothing. And then the Rumble comes, and what do? They play Rey's music. He doesn't come out. And then Dominic comes out with a mask on, and I guess the story is he beat up Rey, and Rey couldn't be in the Rumble. So they essentially did my idea, but they did it in such a lame way. Like, at the end, people are going, well, is Rey still going to come out? Where was Rey? How come Rey didn't come out? Is Rey the winner of the Royal Rumble? People didn't even get what actually happened here, which was apparently that Dominic beat up his father, and he was unable to do the Rumble. So anyway, I think my idea was better.
Who, Bryan, didn't understand that?
I had people like,
who could possibly not understood what happened?
Listen, there's a lot of people, Mark, that are...
they couldn't infer from the man coming out wearing the mask.
No, they
and
thought,
then trying to rip the mask, but he couldn't rip the mask.
No.
And then he gave up on ripping the mask.
No.
Bryan, I don't think I think people got it.
Well,
personally. I don't look at your Twitter.
See, the thing is, I like to think people got it, but there's so much evidence to the contrary.
I don't know, Brian.
Yes. Then another idea I had that they fucked up.
Boy.
Elias comes out.
Oh.
He's number 19. And, how long does it take to shave your beard? 5 minutes?
Sure.
I thought, throw this fucker out immediately, have him go to the back and shave his fucking beard off, and then come out as Ezekiel. I mean, fuck, how hard is that? Nah, couldn't do it. He just got thrown out like a nerd.
He did, however, bring his guitar into the ring and bash it over Gunther's back, who ended up bleeding from his back, which is no fun. But just remember this, everyone. Elias brought a guitar into the ring, and no one seemed to care. Finn Balor is 20, which begins the second of the undercard subplots, which is essentially Judgment Day running wild and then continuing their program with Edge. Because after Booker T gets in there for a cameo, physically he looks great, super ass long hair. His wrestling was not as sharp as it used to be, but he could still do the spin Rooney.
He was rusty, but he pulled it all off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he immediately got thrown out.
Yeah.
Done. Damian Priest is 22, so I think at that point that's the entire Judgment Day in there. Montez Ford is in there. Edge is 24, and
There's another one for the numbers video. Who has made the most returns in the Royal Rumble? Well, it's got to be Edge. And it's funny because in the numbers video, they actually showed footage of his big return like last year.
Yeah.
And they just did it again.
This is at least his third big return in the Rumble.
Yes.
He throws out Damian Priest. He throws out Finn Balor. He tries to throw out Dominic, but the other two guys interfere and pull him outside instead. So it's Edge and Finn and Priest brawling their way up the aisle. Austin Theory is 25, but he can't get to the ring because these wild men are brawling in front of him, so he just waits his turn. Rhea Ripley appears to lay out Edge, but then Beth appears to confront her, and they have a stare down, and I'm not joking. It is exactly the same clip on top of the battleship from Godzilla vs. Kong. And these two monstrous women charged at each other to attack. And Beth got the better of it there. Omos is 26. He's very tall.
Yeah.
He chokeslammed Gunther. We were all terrified he may actually eliminate him. He did not, thankfully. Braun Strowman is 27. His whole thing is just to be there to eliminate Omos. That's what happened. Ricochet is 28. Ricochet and Strowman are apparently a team now.
Yeah.
Weirdest damn team I can imagine.
Braun Strowman, I think it was after the match with Omos. He had some match with a big guy, and, it was whatever, but he thought it was awesome. And he goes, that's wrestling, not these little flippy, floppy guys.
Yes.
And he got heat for that. And so, I guess his revenge, now he teams with Ricochet.
Okay.
That'll teach him.
So somewhere in here, Sheamus and Drew, I think they dumped Strowman, but this is the point where Gunther dumped the two of them, and they looked at each other like it was their fault. He thought it was the other guy's fault. Logan Paul is 29. He's coming out to, I would say nuclear heat, but then I saw the way the show ended. That was nuclear heat. This is very hot heat. People of San Antonio did not like Logan Paul. And as he's walking by to get in the ring, and the eliminated Drew McIntyre stops and looks over his shoulder like, this geek is still in this match, and I am walking up this aisle. That was an awesome shot. He hits one big buckshot lariat, but then Gunther chops him down. That was a lot of fun. And finally, Cody Rhodes is, in fact, number 30. So he's doing some stuff with Dominic, throws him out. Everyone's hitting a big move. The camera work in this company has gotten much better. But there was a period right here where it started to get too zoomy and cutty, and I started to get a little irritated. And then everyone's down in the ring, except for Ricochet, who's standing on one apron, and Logan Paul, who is standing on the other apron. And they stare at each other, and they're calling each other out, and the crowd knows something cool is about to happen. And what finally happened was so awesome, but so incredibly stupid.
It's preposterous.
Like, both guys' plan was, I'll jump as high and far as I can and crash into this other guy, and then we'll both fall and die.
Didn't they do this like in the Dukes of Hazzard, where like two cars came off a cliff on a jump together and smashed into each other?
It sounds very Dukes of Hazzard-ish or Knight Rider-y.
Yeah, Knight Rider might have been what it was. Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. They both hit giant springboards. They're approximately 40 to 50 feet in the sky, and they crashed into each other hard.
Oh, my God.
And I mean hard.
And Logan hit the mat, and his head goes, ba-bam! And I thought he was done. But he came back.
Now, this was incredibly stupid, but it was so cool. And the whole place is chanting, this is awesome, and it was. Logan does roll out of the ring. We thought he was done for.
Even Cole said he was done for. Said there's four guys, and he was still on the outside.
Yes.
Paul was.
So out goes Braun, out goes Ricochet. So it appears we have a final four of Cody Rhodes, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, and Gunther, who I'll remind you started this whole thing. Theory is very quickly dumped, which leaves Cody versus Seth versus Gunther. And they have this awesome bit where Cody and Seth really, really bad wanted to fight each other. But at the same time, they knew their only chance against Gunther was to work together. So they had to work together to take the monster Gunther out. They're fighting him for a while. But then it turns out Logan Paul never was eliminated. He returns, tosses out Seth Rollins, and Logan Paul.
So that might be the Mania match.
Seth
Rollins and Logan Paul.
That was another Mania match. That was, we kind of like, me and my Twitter followers covered like 6 different Mania matches that made me set up by this Rumble here. Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins appears to be one of them. Logan Paul being the first guy on the show to point at the sign. That was awesome. Everyone hates him. And they're very happy when Cody Rhodes immediately eliminates him. And so we have a final 2 of Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Cody, number 30 in the match. Gunther, number 1. And looking fine. He looks like he is warmed up and ready to go.
They're like, man, this guy must be tired.
Nope.
And meanwhile, you're looking at him. He doesn't look like he's wrestled for 5 minutes.
He is on 10 minutes on the treadmill. He's ready to start his workout now.
Yes.
And I don't know how long it went. It felt like a good 10 minutes. I mean, a good 10 minutes where this is a one-on-one battle. And you had Gunther, who has the best chops in the world, working over the pec.
Yeah.
The formerly torn pec of Cody Rhodes. And everyone's worried he's going to tear it again. And by the end of this, actually, it was so black and blue, it looked like he had torn it again. And Cody keeps fighting back. He gets Dustin, Shattered Dreams, the kick to the balls in the corner. And they keep fighting Gunther with a big dropkick, the big power bomb, and the sleeper in the apron. I thought they might do the Brody Darby spot where he's dangling by his feet. But Cody almost pulls him out. Gunther has to release the sleeper to avoid being pulled out of the ring. They're both back in. Gunther tries a power slam, but Cody falls behind. It turns into a crossroads and dumps Gunther out to win. I thought this Rumble was fantastic. I thought it was one of the best Rumbles they've ever done. It was exciting for 70-plus minutes, and everything had a purpose. There was star power throughout, and like I say, it set up like a half dozen Mania matches. This was outstanding stuff.
Wow. Who was your pick, Vinny?
To win?
Yeah.
That would have been Cody.
Who was you were... No, actually, Sean had a very elaborate.
I did, but I changed it after I learned.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
You predicted Cody.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
You had no.
who didn't?
You had no special predictions.
No, I didn't have a dumb prediction this year. I didn't. make
Actually,
it.
you did. But it
I
was in the,
I had one.
women's match.
Fucking forgot it. Forgot the prediction. But
What?
I had some sort of convoluted plan with Sami Zayn in my head the other day when I was like, just sitting around, and I was like, I gotta tell Bryan about this stupid fucking plan, and I fucking forgot it.
Were you here when Sean explained his plan?
Yes. Well, he re-explained it
So
to
are you
me
sure
when I
it wasn't
got
the
here.
same plan?
No, it was. I think it hit some of the same beats, but
Man, Sean had a plan.
I had a great plan.
I've never seen something blow up so spectacularly.
Oh no! So,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So my initial plan was Sami was going to win the Rumble, and then I found out later that Roman said he wasn't going to be in the Rumble during the kickoff show.
Oops.
So it kind of blew that up. But anyway, my plan was Sami wins the Rumble.
Oh, no, there was another flaw in the plan.
I know, and then
Yeah.
here's the other big one: is that I thought that KO was only wrestling for the blue Universal title.
Yeah.
Because everything was like Universal title and title match and everything else was singular. But apparently 2 belts is only 1 belt, or I don't know how it works.
Yes.
It's one
Undisputed.
He's defending
Is
both
what,
belts all
you know.
the time.
Anyway, so I thought it was just
Unlike the Usos, by the way, Sean.
I thought it was just the blue belt.
No.
And KO would have won the blue belt. And since Sami won the Rumble, he would have challenged anyone he wanted to. And to show his love to Roman, he challenges KO at WrestleMania and beats him for the blue belt. And then you have Sami with the blue belt and Roman with the red belt. And you can't decide who is going to take over the bloodline. And you extend
Yeah, man.
that story.
That failed spectacularly.
which belt is which?
Now, I will say this.
What are
Both
they?
Universal and
I don't know which one's which, but
Great.
To your credit, Sean, for whatever reason, Roman, when he defends, only defends both titles. But the Usos only defend the Raw titles on Raw, and they only defend the SmackDown titles on SmackDown.
Too many
Why?
fucking belts.
I
That's
have
what I
no
say.
idea. I can't explain why. But I will say that I thought Cody was going to win. And even though when it came down to Cody and Gunther, like you knew Cody was going to win, I thought those fucking guys did such a good job in the last 4 minutes that there was like legitimate drama, I thought. Like they did a really good job. Trying to convince you that maybe he actually wasn't going to win. But, of course, then he did at the end. I'd like to read something to you.
To me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. This is from Wikipedia.
No.
Okay? Yeah.
So it's factual.
Yes. Okay.
Start off that
So
way.
when you read the list of people that were in the Royal Rumble, number 17, Rey Mysterio. There's a little 1 next to it because you go down to the footnote.
Okay, yes.
Can I read that footnote to you? I'd be happy to.
Bring it on.
Rey Mysterio never entered the match as he was unable to compete due to presumably being attacked either solely by his son Dominic Mysterio or the entire The Judgment Day.
Yeah, yes, presumably. Yes, of course. The entire The Judgment Day,
The
of course.
entire
They're like-
The Judgment Day.
What?
They're like The Miz.
So what are you trying to...
I'm just pointing out even
What are you trying
Wikipedia.
to-
Even Wikipedia is not sure what happened to Rey.
They're not, like,
They're
of course they
presuming-
didn't show. They're presuming? Is that what you just said?
They're presuming.
For fuck's sake.
It literally says presumably, which
I
means they're
know
presuming.
any asshole could write that, Brian.
You're
It
right.
was inferred.
And normally, well, never mind. Go ahead, Vinny. What's next?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yes.
My favorite Mania match that they set up in the men's match was Kofi versus the Rolling Chair. Because,
Yeah, it happened again.
yeah,
He did
that
it
poor
again.
guy.
Fucking, that's 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's
And
Chair,
then,
too.
you
Well,
know,
that's what made him even hurt here.
Someone, I hope not,
I hope not, too.
but somebody on my Twitter, they were like, this should be the new streak. Every year he tries something wacky and fails.
He's the new Shockmaster.
So now, like every year, you're hoping this is the year maybe he won't fuck it up, and then eventually,
You got to change things up.
as
man.
he gets older, he'll actually try to do it. But since he's old, he'll fuck it up most of the time. But one of the times he'll get it, and then everyone will pop huge, and he should win.
We went from one of my favorite Rumbles ever to what might be the worst match of 2023.
I don't know about that, but it was shit.
Dude. When the actual match ended, I thought,
What
that
match was it?
that was a bad Bray Wyatt match, and then the post match really put it over the edge.
The post match was hilariously fucking bad.
The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. So first of all, I think Bray took more time walking to the ring than Gunther spent actually competing in the Royal Rumble. The pitch black gimmick is they turn on the black lights, and the ropes are like fluorescent green or luminescent green, whatever you call it, and LA Knight's gear glows. And Bray Wyatt had he had face paint on, you can see when he came out, but when they turn the black lights on, that's when you really saw everything in his face and his beard and his eyes and the Mountain Dew logo on his shoulder. So it's a rave.
No, you know what it was?
have it
It
arranged.
was, Naomi, everything about Naomi returned except Naomi. That's what it was.
Well,
This was her exact same entrance.
but Naomi never had a match this bad.
Well, no, of course not.
But-
And few have.
No, very, very few. All right,
And I'm
so
not even sure how bad it was because you could barely see anything.
So the wrestling-
Like, they did a fucking spot where somebody did something off the barricade through a table, and like shit flies in the air that's all glowing in the dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys fucking did some spot off the barricade through a table onto a fucking chair or something like that in the dark.
So they attempted to do some sort of suplex, like one guy was on the stairs, the other guy was on a barricade, and one or both fell. I'm not entirely sure. Then they go through the table. The table was stuffed with like glow-in-the-dark popcorn or something.
Beanbag beans.
Beanbag beans.
Is that what that was?
Something.
They're all round. It wasn't popcorn.
They were confetti or
Well, no,
or
because when the lights
nerds,
turned back on, they were some weird color on the ground.
whatever they were.
I don't know what it was.
Fish bait. I don't care.
Could have been.
So they fuck that. Fuck the superplex up. And my last portion of notes here reads: I stopped writing things down. Period. Sucks. Period. Bray won with his sister Abigail. Okay, now here's the bullshit. Bray has won the match. After the match, he goes to the corner and puts on a wacky mask that we can't see because it's dark. But the mask apparently makes him invulnerable to pain. Which begs the question: why not put it on before the match?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
If you're impervious to pain, as a result
Very
of this
hard to
mask,
defeat a man in a wrestling match.
why do you put it on after the mask
So
or the match?
So.
And I got a better question for you, Vinny, even though that's the obvious question. Why did he put another mask on?
I don't know.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Because it's spooky shit. He's doing spooky
It's
shit.
lore.
I mean, it is definitely lore.
It's lore. So there was a kendo stick in this match. They found like a rave orange kendo stick, which you see all the time. And
lightsaber.
Sure. They should have edited sound effects. That would have made it so much better. So LA Knight has the lightsaber, and he's like whacking Bray in the head with it, and you can see like bending over his head. What's the kendo sticks do? And it doesn't hurt him. He's in pervious pain. So now LA Knight is scared. He's scared, and so he's trying to like flee through the crowd, but he's being stalked by Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt with this mask on is two things. He's like a Jason Voorhees, never runs, and then even if he wanted to run, he's still really fat. He can't run. And I'm looking at LA Knight is like ripped, man. Great shape. This guy does cardio for days. Abs everywhere. If Bray Wyatt can't if LA Knight can't outrun Bray Wyatt, he deserves whatever happened to him.
Well, he could not run him, bro.
He could not run him.
No.
So
LA some do that mask.
Bray Wyatt stalks him to a crash pad. There's a crash pad in the back. And he stalks him there, and LA Knight can't flee. He's helpless. Nothing fucking he can do. And so Bray mandible claws him to death, lays him out on the pad, and the crash pad is apparently in like a city block because there's buildings up there. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And Uncle Howdy appears.
It's fucking Uncle Howdy.
And
he jumps.
He certainly did.
He leaped off a high thing, and he missed LA Knight by a fucking mile.
Clearly.
And then shit blew up everywhere, and it was over.
There were puppets.
I laughed. There were
fucking puppets.
I missed the fucking puppets.
They're up and on.
Yeah, where'd
Wow.
he jump from?
Yeah.
I laughed and laughed at this fucking stupid ass spot, and I laughed. This was absolute horseshit. And you know what? Listen, I've seen some bad WWE booking, but it has been a long time since I have outright compared anything they've done to World Championship Wrestling. But man, this fucking Bray Wyatt Uncle Howdy shit is WCW. Because do you watch all of this?
No.
Okay,
I've
Yes.
been. I'm in and out on it.
On and out?
Yeah.
You
On
watch
and
I'm
all
out.
watching Raw and SmackDown, yes.
Okay, so if you watch Raw and SmackDown like Sean and I, first, like Bray would return and this fucking Uncle Howdy would appear on the screen, and it was clearly Bray, right? Then one day, Bray and LA Knight are in the ring, and Uncle Howdy comes out on the ramp. So now they tell us, well, they're not the same guy, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean.
That's right.
Yes. So then they did another angle where Uncle Howdy attacked and beat the shit out of Bray Wyatt.
I recall that, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's his enemy. Am I wrong?
Even I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So then they did another show, and Bray did a promo, and he said, I am Uncle Howdy.
Huh?
That's what he said, right, Sean?
There is,
Yes, he said, I am Uncle Howdy.
He said it tonight.
And then on SmackDown, they do one more back and forth before this match, and Uncle Howdy shows up and starts dancing in the fucking cheap seats, and Bray just kind of nods, like, yep, motherfucker, he's coming too. So now they're on the same side? So they're the same guy, they're a different guy, they're enemies, they're friends, and they certainly appear to be friends on this fucking show. Were they not?
It's a mystery, Brian.
You know what it is? It's bullshit.
Let it
it's
be a
fucking
mystery.
horrible. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical, and it sucks.
Wow.
We went back and watched the entire run of Nitro, and I'm honestly not sure there was any one specific element as bad as the Uncle Howdy saga. Now, the shows as a whole were much worse, because there's 2 hours, 3 hours of this crap. But I'm not sure any one thing Nitro ever did was as bad as Uncle Howdy.
I wouldn't say that, because they had that the Warrior in the Mirror, Hulk, all that shit. But you know what? You know what does remind me of WCW? It's so fucking dumb. I laugh. I laugh at how
guess.
fucking dumb it is.
Well,
so at least it's got
I'm
that.
glad it brings you some joy.
Yeah, kind of like Thunder, which was worse than Nitro.
Thunder was worse, but it was funny bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Louisiana Knight because he was really starting to like get over, I guess, on SmackDown and Raw with this, like the crowd was getting along with him and loving it, and I feel bad for him.
Geek of the week.
Yeah.
LA Knight.
You know what's funny about LA Knight, though, is he was never supposed to get over at all with his
No.
thing. He was just supposed to be the first geek killed. But he did everything he could to, like, make it work. And he did do a fantastic job. But too bad, buddy.
What a depressing story.
Your job was to die at the hands of Bray Wyatt in a fucking neon light match.
And I hope he doesn't become like a zombie along with the. Oh my God.
I hope he becomes
LA Knight
the
has
buzzard.
Him and Alexa are gonna get it on later.
LA Knight has been getting essentially the same character over for like a decade now. We're working at the same character over for like a decade or more in various promotions. NXT, TNA, finally gets called up, and they make him the head of the model thing, and he gets free of that, and it's peaking. It's all coming together. All the work is worth it. And now he is beaten by Uncle Howdy and exploded.
What do you think of this match, Mark?
Now, you see, you guys have known me long enough that you know that I'm a real fan of nonsense.
That's true. You
know?
like this, actually.
So, like, nonsense is fine. Like, all this nonsense, like, it's like, so I have been keeping up a little bit with Bray Wyatt since he came back. You know, I talked about earlier with you, Vinny, about how angry I was when he first came back, and they fucked up the light cue for when he blew out the lantern. He went back, and they turned the light out before he went forward, which is... How do you fuck that up anyway? And then, like, it just dragged on with him being like, I'm not so happy, thank you guys. And then, oh, but I'm mad. But I'm a bad guy. But I'm going to get you. And then, but thank you so much. I'm going to get you. So they did that for fucking ever. And then Uncle Howdy is wandering around and doing whatever that is. But anyway, so, like, Bray Wyatt is supposed to be like a myth, like a, you know, like an Undertaker-esque mythical character. Ooh, I'm spooky. Bray Wyatt gets fired, comes back. His first match ever, and this is where my problem lies, his first match ever is a gimmick match sponsored by Mountain Dew. Like, when The Undertaker got injured and went away, he never came back, and they were like, The Undertaker's coming back and doing a Faygo pineapple casket match. You know? Like, he's doing the Dr. Pepper Hell in a Cell. You know, that never fucking happened because that would be fucking idiotic. That would be really, really stupid. So when I saw that this was a Mountain Dew themed match, like, I was like, what are they going to, like, are they going to drink Mountain, like, is that they're going to drink Mountain Dew and see who can hold the burp the longest? Like, what is this? Why are you putting this mythical, scary man in a fucking commercial? Why is this happening? So that was my main problem with all the bullshit, the fucking, you know, rave lighting with, you know, anybody, like, I mean, really anybody in the crowd who had a little stain on their pants, their date's gonna see that. That's no good. You don't want to see that when you're out. But, you know, like, otherwise, like, it was a stupid match. It wasn't very good. Poor LA Knight, you know, I think he was the man behind LA Gear back in the 80s. And that's where he gets he gets his namesake. But yeah, it was a really stupid match. And then Uncle Howdy came out in that fucking trench coat and just yahooed right down on nothing.
He sure did. He leaped.
And you know what? I don't give a fuck where this goes next. I'm so uninvested at this point.
Wow.
And I think everyone else probably is too, because they drug this fucking shit out for so... That motherfucker came back in October. His first match is in the end of January, Bryan? Are you fucking kidding me? Everybody's been waiting for this motherfucker to come back and do some spooky ass shit. And they wait until fucking January to put him in a soda match. A fucking soda match, Bryan. Get the fuck out of here. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've seen in such a fucking... Like, it's dumber than the time Brock Lesnar wasn't in the Money in the Bank ladder match and won the Money in the Bank ladder match. It's dumber than that. It's dumber than every Royal Rumble where, like, somebody's pushing somebody over and then somebody else stops them from pushing somebody over. It's dumber than all the dumb shit they do.
Well, my only argument is after I watch this match, I wish they had held it off longer.
Like forever?
Yeah. Like maybe next Royal Rumble, perhaps. Well, that leads us to another spooky match.
Well, the match wasn't too spooky. The post-match was. Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair was...
Fuck, they've been building this goddamn match up for how long? and then they go 7 minutes, and Bianca just pins her with her move. There was like nothing to this match.
Let me find my review online. Which
It was like they did some moves.
my online
Bianca
review.
pinned her with her finish.
It was chin locks, punches, and flips.
7 minutes.
I wrote here, short, boring, sloppy, and a massive improvement over what came before it. Then a spooky video played.
Yeah. You know what I really want to see after this match is more Bray Wyatt shit. I really need to see Alexa going back to that gimmick again. Yes, that's going to turn this company around.
Women's Royal Rumble match. Rhea Ripley is number 1. And spoiler, everybody, one of the problems with having 2 Rumbles in the same show is you end up having the same storyline in both Rumbles.
Not only that, but year after year. It's like, yeah, it's been a long time since number 1 was the victor, but it feels like they've done this several times in the last 5 years. Number 1 goes all the way to the end. Maybe they win, maybe they don't. But literally in this match, the end of the men's Royal Rumble was number 1 versus number 30.
Yes.
And the end of this Royal Rumble was number 1 against what, number 2? Is that what it finally came down to at the end?
Who was the last one? Liv?
Yeah, Liv was number 2.
It was 1 versus... yes, Liv was 2.
Yeah.
Is that right? I think it's Liv.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay.
Liv wanted to be number 1,
She got number 2.
and they
Yeah,
said
so
no.
yeah, this is the storyline.
All right.
For weeks, Liv has said, I want to be number 1.
It was Liv, yes.
Okay. And so, like, various other wrestlers have told her, like, this is a bad idea. You're small. You really don't want to be number 1. And even though, if this were real, if this was real, and there was an actual Royal Rumble, and you were actually going to get a shot at the biggest show of the year for the most money you could possibly make, you don't want to be number 1. You want to be number 30. And so the other women tell her this, and she slaps them. One of them was Raquel. She slapped Raquel because Raquel had the temerity to say, you really don't want to be number 1. But anyway, she wants to be number 1. 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 So in storyline, what does this asshole company do? They have her be number 2. So they won't let her be number 1, which she wants. Instead, they give her number 2, which basically is number 1. It's so stupid. So anyway, she wasn't number 1, but she came out essentially first. She was one of the first 2 people in the ring to fight. And then nothing happened.
No, nothing happened for like the first 15 minutes.
Literally until Becky Lynch came out at number 15.
There was a point in the first 10 entrants where there was so much nothing going on. Corey Graves had time to go on a rant about how he hates it in Royal Rumbles, and you see it all the time. When person A is about to eliminate person B, and somebody comes and attacks person A, which makes no sense. Why would you stop someone from being eliminated?
Well, not only that, but like Royal Rumbles are exciting if there's like a good story to them. And there were some good stories in that men's Royal Rumble. But in this one, literally 30 women, probably 25 of them, the story was, oh, here's Shayna Baszler. She comes out, she beats up 5 women, and then they all start fighting. Oh, here's Bayley. She comes out, she beats up 5 women, everyone brawls. Oh, here's B-Fab. She comes out. It's like the same thing over and over and over again. The only thing was, oh, we're going to count down what surprise are we going to get? And what surprises did we get? Roxanne from NXT, the return of Natty, Zoe Stark from NXT, Asuka returning, Piper Niven is back as Piper Niven. She's no longer Dewdrop. Chelsea Green returned, which they made a big deal out of, and she was immediately eliminated in like 9 seconds.
5, record time.
5 seconds, they said. Michelle McCool, who, I swear to God, this is the storyline. She's in the crowd. She doesn't know she's going to be in the Rumble. Some asshole plays her music, and she's forced to get in the ring in her Uggs. And I'm not even making it up. That was the fucking storyline, that she didn't know. And that was it. And the return of Nia Jax. Which, by the way, speaking of blowing out that lamp, they fucking play Nia's music, and then they put her name on the screen, and then they put the clock up.
Yeah.
How do you fuck that up? On number 30.
I don't know.
Well, story of the Women's Rumble.
All right, so the only other thing of note...
Indy.
Well, Indy was out there at one point. But, I mean, before, like, Becky and Stars came out, Roxanne debuted. You mentioned that. In addition to going coast to coast, Rhea Ripley was also bleeding for a good portion of this match. And I think there's no one knows what happened, but McAfee says, "Oh, you can see Rhea's got somebody's lipstick on her face." And Corey's like, "No, she's bleeding." And McAfee is horrified. There may be blood in a professional wrestling match. So Xia Li comes out. She's number 14. Remember when Elias came in the men's trouble and brought a guitar into the ring and started whacking dudes with it?
Yeah.
Xia Li comes out with a spear, which granted is more dangerous than a guitar, but she comes out with a spear.
Depends on how you use it.
The ref says, no, can't, no weapons in the battle royal. Can't take that. Takes your spear away. That was bullshit.
It's better to have a spear shoved up your ass than a guitar.
Well, and a guitar is guitar. You know, you play a guitar, you might he's going to go and play a song.
So
a spear is a literal weapon.
Perhaps Elias is going to the ring and start
Maybe
busking.
He's going to throw a hat down. He's going to
can't put a
play.
hat on
People
a
are going to
guitar.
give him dollar bills, Vinny. You know.
Tegan Knox comes out.
One is legitimately a weapon and the other is not.
Not technically a weapon. You can't.
Look, we're agreeing for like the first time
That is true.
ever.
Tegan Knox comes out and Michael Cole screams, "She has the shiniest wizard!"
At least nobody had pancakes this time.
Corey Graves is appalled. What does that mean? He asks. He knows what a shining wizard is.
Then he fucking buries her.
Wow.
He goes, "Great, Muto would have something to say about that."
Yeah. So they're talking about the history between Tegan and Dakota Kai. Was there a shiny wizard involved? He asks. And then Asuka comes in, looks awesome, throws out Tegan. Back to your shining wizard, he says. We have Piper Niven, we have Tamina, we have Chelsea Green. Zelina Vega comes out, and she's dressed as some Street Fighter character, and Michael Cole jumps right into plug mode about how she's representing this new Street Fighter game available this day with blah, 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 and E Honda, and Blanca, and Ryu, and Ken, and all the people I know because I'm old.
Yeah. So we got a soda match, and then we got a
video game character.
and then they did the video game. Like on the apron, they did a little... Nobody Hayukened or anything.
They tried to, yeah.
They did it. It was something.
Royal
Rumble, sponsored by Applebee's.
Okay, we had Michelle McCool. You mentioned that. Mia Yim's new name, Michin. Am I saying that right?
Yes, it means crazy Asian, I believe.
All right. I don't know, but she'd probably not deny that, I don't think. Indy Hartwell is 26, and Sean, tell me about, because I'll be honest, leaving this match, I just fell asleep. I didn't know what was going on. I lost all interest. But Sean groans, and I look up, and Indy Hartwell's on the floor, and I don't know how she got eliminated.
So she was on the outside, and she tried to do this like high kick to kick someone in the face that was trying to push her out, and she missed by like 3 feet and just fell because of her other leg wasn't planted correctly. So she went up to kick, and then she just fell on the ground.
Awesome.
You know, I know that they don't like when people figure out what they're going to do, but it's actually a compliment when people figure out what you're going to do because it means you're doing something logical. You're doing something that would make sense.
Yes.
And, I mean, fuck, how hard would it be for Indy to get thrown outside? She gets caught by Dexter. Everybody fucking pops. He puts her back in the ring, and then, of course, she gets eliminated later, whatever. Couldn't even do that. It's like she came out, she did nothing special, and then she missed a kick and fell outside. That was a whole appearance in the Royal Rumble of Indy Hartwell. They could have actually done one spot, like a memorable spot.
Well, they already did that spot before with Mandy Rose, R.I.P., and Otis, back when they were doing their thing. She fell on top of him.
I don't know if you're aware of it or not, Sean, but they repeat a lot
I'm
of
Mark.
shit.
I'm Mark, Brian.
Can I call you Sean?
Yeah, she called me Sean. What the fuck,
Well, he
dude?
always sits there.
The other day I saw
if I
Brian.
look there.
The other day I saw Brian at Safeway, and he rolls down the window of his car, and he's like, "Hey, man, you got kids?" And I'm like, "How fucking long have we known each other?" And he's like, "Oh, but we're married, yeah." And I'm like,
But you just got married.
"Yeah,
right?
motherfucker."
For some reason, I thought you
got
had a
married
child.
8 fucking years ago,
I know,
you idiot.
and I thought you had a child.
And then
in the
he's like, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you why my car's dirty because I have kids." And I was like, "I know,
Exactly.
asshole, that you have kids. What the fuck is happening right
Christ Almighty.
Why would we care? If
I
your
think
car
he
is
does
dirty?
have a
now?"
child.
We
He's
share
fucking with
we
you.
share a Safeway.
We
Brian
do.
and I live so close to him.
I
now.
know. I don't know why
We
I don't
share
come
a
over more.
Safeway.
It's a big ass Safeway.
I mean, when the show's
We
over, I know.
we share it with a lot of people. in
Yes,
Bothell.
it's not the Brian and Mark Safeway.
I mean, it basically is, but people go there every now
Then we
and then.
walk in, they're like, "There's Mark Jones." He
How
walks in,
gracious of
Brian
you.
Alvarez.
Yeah.
All right.
We're a big deal around here, Vinny.
Where are we?
Mark
So
and I.
Indy's out there, and Michael Cole says, "You know, we need Booker T out here to tell us about all these NXT women." Implying, in fact, I was saying they don't watch NXT, they don't care about it, they don't waste their time watching it. They have
Too
more
bad
important
for
things to
them.
do.
That's a good show.
I disagree.
Is it?
No.
Bryan wins.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's a guilty pleasure.
On that
Is
note,
it?
Sonya throws out Zoe Stark. Sonya Deville throws out and shouts, "Back to NXT!" Just bury everyone. Shots is out there, and Nikki Cross. Nia Jax is number 30.
You know what is funny, though, I got to say, is Roxanne is the NXT Women's Champion. And when Vince was in charge, this shit was right up his alley. Oh, let's bring in the NXT Women's Champion, ever thrown out in 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Triple H, this is his thing now, and these are his development. So man, when she came out, I thought, she's gonna go to almost to the end. They're gonna make the NXT Women's Champion look so good, and she's immediately thrown out. I was like, the fuck? Why am I watching this show? Anyway.
So Nia Jax comes out, and everyone gangs up to her. She has a big roar spot. And this may come up later. This may come up again later, but Raquel tries to body slam Nia, but can't do it. She's too big. Rhea tries to body slam Nia, but can't do it. She's too big. But then Rhea is able to sort of halfway hit her with a riptide. It's not the best pump handle slam I've ever seen. I did a few. Better than this, in fact. And I did. It's true.
All right.
And then everyone gangs up and throws Nia out, and that's that. So at this point, bodies start flying out everywhere. There was at least a dozen women in the ring when Nia came in there, and then most of them go out very, very quickly, including Piper Niven very carelessly throwing one person out onto another person. I don't know who they were or what happened to them.
Well, that was the plan, but it came across poorly.
Yes. So
pretty sure Shotzi was involved.
The final 4 is Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross, Asuka, and Liv Morgan, and then Nikki is almost immediately dumped. So we have Rhea, Asuka, and Liv, and now everyone is suddenly going very, very crazy for the final 3. And the actual, really from the time Nia got in, they started doing stuff with her, and then all the bodies flying out. The last the first hour of this match was terribly dull. The last 5 minutes was pretty fun. And they were going crazy for the last 3 at the end.
Last 5 minutes was really good.
So all 3 women are out on the apron, and they're fighting out there, and the big finish is Asuka goes to blow mist at Rhea. Rhea ducks, so Liv Morgan eats the blue mist. She's blind, and Rhea knocks out Asuka. Asuka's out, so now it's down to Rhea and Liv, who are both on the apron, but Liv is blind. And Rhea grabs her like Liv hits a code breaker or something. And Rhea falls, and she's hanging on the ropes, and her feet are dangling, and the place is going nuts. And Liv is still blind, but she's feeling her way along the ropes and finds the hands and starts whacking at them, frantically trying to get her to let go. But Rhea is just too strong, and she recovers and dumps Liv out to win. So there you go. Rhea Ripley wins the Royal Rumble.
You know, I predicted Rhea was going to win because it seemed obvious. They pushed her so hard. But and I like Rhea Ripley a lot. But this Asuka was so fucking good in this match. She was like miles above everybody else. And she'd been gone for a while. So she walked right back in, went into that Rumble, and was the best working woman in there by far. She was better than almost everyone in the men's Rumble. She was so great. And the last few minutes here with the mist and the spray in the eyes and Liv being blind and then getting head scissored down to the floor, that was a great ending to what was an otherwise largely exceedingly boring women's Royal Rumble, yes. I would say.
I think one of the problems they have with the women's Rumble is when you have so few women on the main roster as they used to have. So when you're mixing it in with so many NXT stars, that it's difficult to get stories going along because they don't interact on the other shows. And so what they did with Damage Control was fine. You had Natty and Shayna doing their little thing because she broke her face in. And that was about it because these women don't interact. And why was Sonya there? She has a title match next week already. I mean, it seemed kind of pointless, really.
Well, before we move on, I do want to say that... Mark?
Yeah, it's crazy. The problem for me is I don't know anyone's music. So when they do have a surprise, I'm like, who the fuck's this? Because all the music is so fucking generic at this point that it's all the same fucking thing. And then you see the name and you're like, oh, and like we saw like Chelsea Green returns and it said Chelsea, and we're like, Chelsea who? And then, oh, it's Chelsea Green, great. And then she's out of the match. Okay, why'd you come back? Yeah, it was
I spent a lot of time trying to read the screen to see who was coming out because I didn't know the music. And
Yeah, dude, I watch every single solitary show,
Yeah.
and even I was watching both of these Rumbles, and like, you know, number one, they change people's music a lot. So like even Finn Balor's coming out to like the Judgment Day song or whatever, and that music hit. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And it's Finn Balor, and you know, half the women, they hit the music, and it's, I don't know who's coming out. And the other problem is as Mark noted, this fucking music is so generic. It's all the same. I mean, you know, even, you know, the fans have really gotten behind Seth's song and they sing it, okay? But if you actually listen to it, that song is just like, it's horrible. It's like a horrible, nothing happening, repetitive, bad song. But there's like something that people can sing, and so they decided that's the cool thing to do is sing to it. But I don't want to sound like an old guy, but we watched those old Raws from 93, 94, and dude, all of those songs, they're all different. They all fit the character. I mean, these are just, throw out this generic song to this guy. Even Bray's music now. You know, Bray had that very, you know, the original song that he had.
his original song was so awesome.
It was awesome. And now it's like, oh, here's just this weird-ass song, and I don't care. It's just, it does nothing for me. I don't like the music.
It sounded like a Nine Inch Nails dance remix of his original
I don't know
song.
what it sounds like.
So I do want to say that was not my favorite Rumble of all time, but I've been a big Rhea Ripley fan for a long time. And I don't know if it's the first Women's Rumble, but one of the early ones. So it came down to her and Bianca, and both were pretty new in the scene. And I'm pretty sure if you were to go back and listen to the review of that show, I said at the time that I would have had Rhea win. And, of course, Bianca won and went on to have the best match at WrestleMania repeatedly. So I was wrong about it then. But regardless, I'm glad Rhea is getting this time. I think that's awesome. Not awesome. Hardy.
Thank God I was putting Paisley to bed, and I miss Hardy.
Hardy.
Dustin Runnels did not like Hardy.
He's country.
It's always a good sign when they have to announce to the crowd, this is a country rock artist. Like, you won't be able to figure that out on your own.
In Texas.
In Texas. I just described him on Twitter as the third-place finisher in a Kid Rock karaoke contest from 2004. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. I did like when Michael Cole noted that Kevin Owens once beat Roman Reigns with help from a friend.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So, listen, they had a pretty good pay-per-view main event match. I was so tired of after going through the show, and everything after the Men's Rumble up to this point had been mediocre to horrible. And by the end of this match, people were going crazy, so credit to them for that. But, man, the show was long. They went back and forth a lot.
And especially when you think about how hot the crowd was for the Men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
They were going crazy for the Men's Royal Rumble. And then, man, from fucking Uncle Howdy on, dead.
Yes.
All they did in the women's match was count.
That's pretty much
And they
right.
would pop big for a couple of people, but then it was largely just quiet and counting.
Yes.
And even for this match, it was like, this match had heat, but they didn't have mega heat until it was over.
No, the post-match had unreal heat. So they hit the finishers repeatedly and kicked out of everything. They fought outside a lot. At exactly the 4-hour mark in the show, like to the minute, there was a ref bump, and I was so angry. And the end, I guess I know why, because Owens hit, I think it was a stunner, but Owens got a visual pin. And the
You had
crowd's-
the pop-up powerbomb first.
Pop-up powerbomb, excuse me. And he gets a visual pin off that, but there's no ref. And so they keep on fighting, and Owens gets hit with something and rolls outside, and Sammy is begging Kevin to stay down. He wants Kevin to stay down and end this thing. Kevin gets up, and so Roman spears Kevin through the barricade. And this is not enough for Roman. He grabs Kevin by the back of the head and throws him back of the head first into the stairs. That was brutal. Kevin's a pro. I'm assuming he figured out a way to do this and not die beyond just taking a bump onto the stairs twice. But it was effective because it looked violent
Well,
and brutal and
if you
dangerous.
watched, like, he put his hands behind his head, so he actually bumped on, like, his leather gloves or whatever.
Okay.
But still, you could break your hands doing that.
Yes.
That looked brutal.
I would take a broken hand over CTE.
I certainly would take a broken hand over a broken skull.
Yes. So eventually, after a couple of these, Roman throws him back the ring. Kevin Owens still won't die. He's able to hit one last slap of defiance, but Roman just in selling the slap, steps back in the ropes, bounces back, hits a spear, and finally gets the win. So in the end, there was a visual pin for Kevin, but this is pretty much a clean win for Roman here. And then the post-match. And I feel, honestly, I can tell you what happened, but as the guy here who does not watch the show week to week, I feel like I'm not the best guy to explain why this was all so awesome.
Well, why was it so awesome, Vinny?
All right, so...
I mean, if you thought it was awesome, tell us why.
I'll tell you why.
I can correct you.
You tell me what I'm missing out on
Sure.
or overlooking. All right, so Owens is down. Sammy is relieved. This is no fun for Sami Zayn at all. And he wanted Roman Reigns to win this match, but he also wanted Kevin Owens to walk away. And that's why he wanted Kevin to stay down and have
Well, I guess I will take over then.
Thank you.
We don't know. We don't know what he wanted. Because when Roman asked for a chair, like, he didn't really want to give him that chair.
I forgot about that.
And he finally did give him the chair, but he doesn't really know. He's been mistreated. Like, he wants to be a part of the bloodline, and he loved it when he felt that they respected him, but now it's clear that they don't really respect him like he thought that they did, and so he's not sure what to think here. And, he's been up and down with Kevin Owens for 20-something years, so... End of the match, he's downtrodden. It's been a rough day. And so they attack Kevin Owens. They're beating him down. They get handcuffs, and they handcuff him to the ropes, and they super kick this poor guy in the face like 50 times. And, of course, the announcers do ask a good question. Where the fuck is security?
Yeah.
Well, the answer is they must have gone home or something. They don't give a fuck about this Kevin Owens bloke. So they super kick him and everything like that. And then Roman Reigns gets a chair. And Roman Reigns is going to just bash this dude's brains in. And you can see Sammy's like, it's too much. Like, I can't do this. And so finally, Roman's about to do it, and Sammy steps in front of him. So Sammy, cleverly, is trying to speak to Roman and talk him out of this. He says... You have done enough. You have destroyed this guy. You've beaten him. You're the Universal Champion. It's over. What you're doing now, he says, is beneath you. And so Roman, he puts his head down. God damn, if it is, maybe it is beneath me. But you know what he says? It's not beneath you, Sammy. He hands him the chair. You do it. And so Sammy's got this chair, and he just can't do it. And Roman Reigns starts chewing him out, and he goes, you don't want to be part of this family. This is the best place you've ever been in this business. You want to go back to doing jackass shit? You need to be part of this family.
That was a great line.
Take this chair and finish this. And so what they actually did was they recreated when Seth turned on the Shield. And that was Roman Reigns is standing there.
Actually.
And Sammy's got the chair. And he swings all right. And he whacks Roman Reigns with the chair. And Roman's down. And Jimmy and Solo immediately attack. And they beat the living hell out of Sami Zayn. But Jey Uso, of all people, Jey Uso cannot bring himself to attack Sami Zayn. And so he puts his head down and he walks out of the ring and he starts walking up the ramp to the back. And everybody's going crazy for Jey. They've been chanting his name and then they popped big when he left. And so he starts walking up this ramp. This part shouldn't be funny, but he starts walking up the ramp and the other guys, Roman takes his chair, they're beating on
for days.
Yeah, and they're beating on him and they're beating on him and they're beating on him. And then Roman gets his chair and he beats him and he beats him and he hits him with 50 chair shots. And they've beaten him for 8 straight minutes, and they cut, and Jay's still not at the top of the ramp.
No.
This fucker's still walking.
It's a far.
So anyway, then, he's dead and everything like that, and, there was so much heat for this. They went crazy when Sammy hit Roman. They're chanting for Jay when Jay won't do anything. They're popping when Jay leaves. And listen, I don't know if they're going to do this, but this is a variation of where I think they should go. And that is, Cody is getting the shot at WrestleMania. Right?
He won the Rumble.
Yes. You do not want the people to turn on Cody because they want Sammy versus Roman, right?
Right.
So what you need to do is Sammy needs to challenge Roman Reigns to a match at Elimination Chamber, which just so fucking happens to be in Montreal. his hometown.
Oh,
Yes.
how about that?
So it's Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn in Montreal. And obviously at the end of this match,
Vince McMahon will say, ring the fucking bell.
Jay is the one who fucks Sammy, costs him the match. He turns on him. And then all of the bloodline are destroying Sammy when Kevin Owens, who we have not seen since this moment here at the Rumble, he runs out in his fucking hometown and he makes a save for Sami Zayn. And you shift the heat to Jay and Jimmy. So now the fans want to see Kevin and Sammy as a team beat the Usos at WrestleMania, and they're not getting mad at Cody anymore. Cody and Roman is one thing. Sammy's already had his title match. Now they want to see him win the tag titles from the Usos. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but when Jay walked out, I thought, man, that may be what they're going to do. Because that's what you got to do if you don't want people to turn on Cody here. So anyway, I thought it was awesome. Sean, you've been watching all of it. What do you think?
Well, I thought the match itself is one of those things where Roman has been champion for so goddamn long that every single match is exactly the same. Like, they build up to it, and you're really watching it, you know the competitor's not going to win. So that, like, the object of these matches is to build up the drama and make you think, like, either person is going to win. Well, Roman has been winning consistently for so long that I honestly don't care anymore. Like, Roman's going to win, but afterwards, that was fantastic. It was superb. Great storytelling. Just could not stop watching. Loved it.
And the
five
heat,
stars.
those fans chanting, fuck you, Roman.
Oh,
45,000 people chanting, fuck you, Roman.
that
was awesome.
Which he acknowledged, too. It was
Yes, he
great.
did.
Oh yeah, he looked at the. How dare you fuckers chant this to me? When Sammy hit Roman with the chair, and the I don't know 20 seconds after that, like you could hear like the mics are popping. It's distorted sound. I don't feel the technical term for it, but it was so loud that their microphone system was having trouble recording it and broadcasting it to you at home. It was too loud for their equipment. So it's completely insane. So there you go. That's the Royal Rumble. Listen, the first match and the main event angle were so unbelievably off the charts awesome. This show is an automatic, easy, enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. That being said, when I left my house, my computer was at 100% health. I literally just got the message, plug me in or I'm about to die. That's a show.
Well, we're done, except for Mark's
That show's
wrap up
too
here.
long.
What do you got?
I just fixed the battery on this last year. So.
Pardon? What do I have?
Yeah, what do you think about this main event, brother?
Oh, the main event. Well, I really enjoyed your fan fiction there about what you think should be next, your WWE fan fiction.
I'll remember you said
should
that.
write. You should write it in a little marble notebook and mail it to Triple H.
Excuse me, a Marvel notebook?
A marble, you asshole! A marble notebook.
Well, how big a geek
Marble
you were.
notebook?
You don't know about Marvel? Come on, you're
Like
old.
there'd be Batman on the
You're
front
old.
of it?
The marble they had.
You know, it's
the
a black and it's got the white things
marble
on it.
notebook, you
Marble.
wore-
Come on,
whatever.
Even I know what that is.
I see. I'm looking
Yeah,
at it
yeah,
now.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard it.
Did you look it up?
I looked it up.
Okay, good. What was the question? Oh, did I? Yeah, it was. You know, it was a Roman Reigns match. Like the whole pay per view, really, like everything was like I didn't think Alexa Bliss was gonna be Bianca Belair. I knew Rhea Ripley was gonna win the Royal Rumble. I knew Cody Rhodes. Like, why did they announce Cody Rhodes beforehand? Like, why didn't they have that be a surprise and everybody would have been like, "Yeehaw, it's Cody Rhodes." But yeah, I knew Roman Reigns was gonna win, and then this whole Sami Zayn thing's got to end sometime. And yeah, it was fine and fun, and it's nice to see like another person. It's kind of a Daniel Bryan kind of situation where this dude like is so good at his job that
Yes.
much to the chagrin of management, I assume, he's gotten himself so over. Like, I just hope that they don't just, kill him like they did with, Rusev Day when that was going on and everybody, like, loved that. They just fucking stomped it in the ground and everything. Hopefully Sammy gets his day in the sun.
I think Sammy will be fine.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be just fine for Sami Zayn.
But, yeah, it was, I mean, I love the Royal Rumble because I love surprises. And, when Triple H took over and, like, all I've been hearing, people are like, it's so much better now that Triple H is in charge. And I'm like, I just saw the same old shit, man. I just saw the same show.
Yeah, there was a lot of... But you know what? I got to say one thing about it. I don't know if everyone else agrees, but it was a very predictable show. I think let's see, I predicted Cody, The Fiend, Bianca, Rhea, and Roman. So I picked everything right.
Wow.
But the issues that we had with the show had nothing to do with the finishes being predictable. The issues with the show had to do with a whole bunch of other stuff. So sometimes people go, people don't like the show because it's predictable. That's not the problem. Like, everything that happened was what should have happened. Like, Rhea should have won that. And Cody should have won it. And Roman should have won it, and they should have done that. There was nothing wrong with the predictable things that they did. But sometimes they have to do these other things, like the whole fucking Bray Wyatt match itself. Like, the issue was not who won. It was fucking everything else about it. Although I would have liked to have seen old LA Knight win that match. Maybe next time, right? They'll run it back. Anyway, Mark, get some plugs in. We don't hear from you all that often.
No.
What would you like to plug?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram, Bad Movie Collection. I just talk about my bad movie collection all the time.
Huh.
I got a podcast. I saw that movie. We're going to be putting new episodes out in the spring. And hopefully continue that on. I know I come on here every year and I say we're going to put new episodes out. We never do.
It's like, yeah.
We're really, we're really going to do it this time. Yeah, that's all I have in my life. Yeah. What do you got to plug, Brian?
WrestlingObserver.com, everybody. Also, I'll be up later tonight with Dave. Twitch and YouTube. Hopefully around 11:30 or midnight, but I got to watch Rampage, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'll see you at Safeway. I'll see you Tuesday. You too, Vinny. And we'll talk to you again after a while.
Adios.
Mahalo.
Go Birds.